Everybody wants a better life, a better body, a better mindset, and even better relationships. But most of them want the transformation to be seen. They announce the goals, they post the gym selfies, and they talk about the grind. And then nothing happens. Nothing changes. And the truth is, the people who actually change their lives do it in private first. They do it by disappearing. They work silently. They fix the pieces when nobody else is watching. Hi, my name's Mim. Welcome to my channel where I basically be giving you self-love tips all over the place and helping you grow and glow with me. Today we're going to be talking about raising your standards in private. And this is basically what's going to be in the whole video. If you want to do anything, there are also timestamps. You're welcome. So let's break it down really quickly. What exactly is raising your standards? Raising your standards means what exactly do you accept in life and what don't you accept? And raising them means how can I elevate exactly what I stand for? Exactly what I accept in life and what do I need to refuse before my standards can be seen as negligent. Private standards are exactly how you act when nobody else is watching. It's exactly how you act when everything is not on camera, when everything is not in another person's eyes. How do you act with yourself? How do you behave when nobody else is watching? That is what you would call having standard. See, the problem with a lot of people is that they perform, well, self-improvement. They perform everything from going to the gym, from eating healthy, from doing things like, I don't know. They just perform it. They don't actually do it because they want to. In private, they're binge watching, they're binge eating, they're doing all the excess things that don't result in the standards they've set up. And because of that, you would find that those same people don't actually achieve their goals. In the long run, they just look the part. They don't actually fit the part. They look the part. They don't act the part. And because of that, you find that these types of people never really get anywhere. They just have one thing. They talk a lot. I mean, we all know those people that when you're like talking to them, they tell you everything they've done. They tell you all these things that they've gotten, they've achieved and all that. But when it comes to the action, when it comes to doing the thing, they know nothing. They can't act. They can't do anything. All they know is they'll talk and talk and talk and talk and talk. But when it actually comes to showing up, when it actually comes to acting the part, it becomes so impossible for them because all they've ever known is how to do it. I'm talking about the people that post their workouts but are not consistent. People that talk about their goals but end up doing nothing about it. I'm talking about people that announce their plans a little too early before anything has even been decided. And the people that seek validation in every single little thing they have to do, especially before the results even show. I was one of those people, I'll tell you that for sure. I used to do this. I'll give an example. I had something I genuinely wanted to do. I applied for it. And before I even got in, I was like, okay, so this is what I'm going to do. This is what I'm going to do. I told everybody I was applying. I told everybody this was going to work out. It didn't. But that's life, you know. So if I've learned something, it's privacy first. Because the honest truth is that validation from another person that, oh, you're doing so great, you're doing this, you're doing that, oh my gosh, you got your life ahead of everybody, doesn't actually change the fact that you are not doing anything in private. And remember that if you feel like you are suddenly on top of the world simply because another person is telling you that, you have not done anything for yourself. If anything, you are just harming yourself over and over again. You are just doing yourself an unfavor. I don't even know if that's a word. You're not doing yourself a favor. That is the honest truth. When you decide, I'm going to go in private and do it, that's where the true growth comes in. Because the honest truth is, when you look for performancing, when you perform for another person, when you're always showing up in a specific way, the first thing is truth is that you only get temporary validation. The validation is not going to be permanent. And if the thing doesn't actually fall through the way you do, you lose self-esteem, in fact. So temporary validation over self-validation doesn't get you anywhere. Ever. Number one. Number two, you won't actually make any real change. You won't actually make any real change because you're showing off, you're showing up, you're showing all these things, you're only performing. Like, you act like you know what you're doing, you feel like you know what you're doing temporarily, but when you're alone, when you are sitting with those thoughts, there is no real change that you have made at all. And that, darling, is a problem. Okay, besides the problem, here is why privacy works better. Privacy removes the performance. When you're in private, when you're alone, you are left to think, to feel, to be, to assess, analyze, and reflect, because you drown out the noise. When there is no audience, there is no pressure to pretend to be something you're not. When you have no audience, you are left alone to think, okay, do I really want this? Or am I just doing it because other people are going to applaud? Do I really want to do this? Or am I just doing it because other people are going to applaud? Do I want the dress? Or did I just want it because it showed off something that another person doesn't have? And I get people to think that I am much superior to them. That's based off insecurity, girl. Security means knowing that even if nobody's watching, I'm gonna wake up early and I'm gonna exercise and I'm gonna do what needs to be done. I'm going to show up, create what needs to be created, execute what needs to be executed before I even go back to being validated. And that's the honest truth. When you decide to do everything in private, you remove the pressure of an audience. You remove the pressure of being validated by somebody else. You don't have to pretend like you have it all figured out, because you are learning, and because you're learning in private, there's no judgment, there's no anything. You are just being you. The benefits of this is that you move focus from what is anybody else thinking to what am I actually doing? You move the focus to what exactly you're doing, not to the people that are watching. The focus comes back to whatever activity you're doing. You don't have to stress about, oh, what's another person gonna think? What's another person gonna say? No. You just do what you have to do, and you leave it at that. And you become more honest with yourself. When you decide that you want to do something, when you decide to take it up in private, you are honest with yourself on whether or not it's working, what you have to change, what you have to do. You don't have to show up like everything is perfect, because in private, you're doing whatever needs to be done. You're learning all the things that need to be learned, and then you just grow. You're more honest with yourself. Is this working for me? Is my workout routine working? Instead of always showing up like, oh, so my workout. No, you show up and you show that, okay, so my workout routine isn't working for me. What do I need to change? Why isn't it working? What have I been doing wrong? What do I need to do right? That only comes when you are private, when you know for a fact that you're not performing for anybody else. Another benefit is that it is less about outside opinions, more about your inner dialogue. When you look at anything you want to do, when you look at all the things that you want to do and you put them out there, everybody has an opinion. People are entitled to their opinions. You can't stop them from having an opinion. But what you can do is make sure they don't have an opinion, because you don't give them the opportunity to have one. When you decide you're gonna have privacy in your life, you're going to do anything, You're not going to say anything about it. You're not going to do anything. All the things are going to start moving in quietness. The noise that comes from any outside opinions is drowned. Because the honest truth is, some people just can't help it. There are people that are that guy that they're gonna peep into every little thing that you do, put their nose all up in your business. But when you decide that I'm not gonna say anything, I'm just gonna do what I need to do, work on myself and do anything, I'm not gonna look for validation, look for opinions, they're not gonna give you their cup. They're not going to give you their 2 cents because you don't need it. You don't need their 2 cents and they're not gonna give it. It's your cup of tea, not theirs, and they're gonna drink nothing there. And besides that, consistency actually begins there. When you decide to publicize everything, to show everybody every little thing that you have to do, the honest truth is that you're not going to be consistent with it. Because now you're just going to be focusing on, oh, what did somebody else do? What did somebody say? Oh, they hurt my feelings. When you actually in private, you have a consistency because you know, I'm doing this for myself. I'm promising this to myself. And I don't have to perform. I don't have to be drained. So yeah. The honest truth is that silent improvement is what actually builds real confidence, not outside validation. Now, let's move on to the formula of doing this. Step 1, you have to reduce the noise. That means less socials, less explaining yourself, less announcing your goals, and more of protecting your time. The honest truth is, very hard for somebody to not want to show off, to not want to show the fact that they're doing something with their life, because everybody's gonna judge, so everybody's gonna always do something about it. But let's be honest, they're gonna judge anyways, whether you achieve it, whether you don't, whether you what. So pick the better side and actually do something that helps you, not anybody else. Because the honest truth is, when you reduce the noise, you reduce the amount of stress and pressure you would possibly have from doing something. So when you decide, I'm going to reduce the noise, I'm going to work on myself, I'm going to work up, I'm going to show up for myself without extra opinions, extra noise from elsewhere, you actually start showing the actual glow. Step number 2, improve private habits. Improve your morning routines, movement, exercise, or whatever you want to call it. Improve your nutrition. Learn, whether it's reading, journaling, or anything. When you do such things privately, when you improve yourself privately, you become somebody who shows up consistently, privately or in public. Because when you improve certain things, like how you wake up every single morning, it's going to start to show, even in the way you look. It's going to start to show in the way you dress, in the way you act, in the way you behave. Even the mood you have is going to change. That's what needs to show up. The result, not your performance. So improve your private habits. You don't even have to tell anybody that you wake up at 7:30 a.m. in the morning. You don't have to tell anybody that you wake up at 5 a.m. in the morning. It's going to show in the amount of things that you get done in a day. And some other people don't get done. So yeah, you don't have to say anything. Just improve those private habits and the work is gonna show itself. Always. Number 3, raise your emotional standards. So stop chasing validation, stop emotional, and start learning how to control your emotions. Start healing old patterns and taking responsibility for your actions. When you are not emotionally reacting to anything, you start with doing so in private, and publicly it's just going to show up, even in the way you talk. When you start talking, not by seeking a certain level of validation, but you're just talking because you want to do something with your own life, it's going to start to show. When you decide that I want to raise my emotional standards, It's gonna come up in journaling. You're gonna cry, you're gonna do all those things, but if you do them in private, when you're in public, the way you carry yourself, the way you talk, the way you act, and even the subtle signs of body language or whatever not, when it comes up, when it comes out, it's going to show us something incredible. It's going to show up as something insane because it's something you've done, you've worked on so greatly that people are just gonna wonder, okay, wow. So, okay, this person, I like them. They've done the work in private. And the results are what show up, not you. When you upgrade your step number 4, upgrade your environment. That means cleaning your room, organizing your desks, your workspace, and literally intentional routines. I could even show you my room right now because as you can clearly see, it always looks the same, looks clean, pristine, always. Sometimes people might think it's boring, but that's how I work best. A few months ago, I used to be the type of person that I could throw anything on the floor. I could do literally anything and be like, I'll see you tomorrow. I used to eat in my bedroom. So disgusting now when I think about it. But back then, it was something that was like, it's fine. It's okay. Until I decided I need to change my private environment because everything that I do is going to reflect me. How I behave, where I am, and basically where I'm surrounded, every single thing I do is gonna show up in the end. It's going to compile and show up. When I started waking up early, 7:30, it started to show. When I started prioritizing my workouts in private, it started to show. When I started cleaning everything that is environment related to me, it started to show within me. It started to show because the way I dressed changed, the way I acted changed, even the way I spoke, the way I thought, everything started to be clearer, changed, and be better. And that's something that a lot of people fail to understand, that when you change the environment you're in, the place that you work, and how you do it, it's going to show up. It's going to build specific identity that you cannot shake off because you've done the work in private. The standards have been raised. Now your life is going to start to rise with you. Step number 5, build something quietly. Whether it's a skill development or it's business ideas that you decide you want to act on, personal projects, or just literally very hourly focused sessions where you decide you want to study. When you build something in private, it's going to show up publicly. When you decide you're going to actively work on that business idea, the money's going to start to flow in. When you decide you're going to actively work on learning a new skill, the CV is going to show it. And even the way you think is going to show it. When you decide you're going to act on personal projects, the way you behave, the way you feel, the way you talk, the way you act, even, it's going to start to show. Because you've not only decided to elevate your life privately, but publicly it starts to show the results. And now suddenly you're lucky, but you've known that you've done the work in private. And everybody's gonna be there for that glow up. And with that, there comes the practical ways to start. I'll give you 5 things today. Number 1, start one self-improvement habit today. You can write this down. Whether it's you watching YouTube videos on self-improvement every single day, or whatever not, reading a book, or whatever you have to do, make sure there's one simple self-improving habit you have done. One environment upgrade. Start cleaning your room maybe. Start cleaning your bedside table even. Start making sure the laundry's done always, and start just like making sure that your environment looks clean and refreshing. You can go to the entire house if you want to, but make sure that at least one thing about your environment is improved. Even if it means just making sure there is never anything on the floor, or like on the ground where you are doing your work, that is already improving, because our brains process every little thing that we do. Every little thing that's there, they want to process it. So when you make sure you declutter your life and you just leave only improvement available, it's going to start to show. Make one mental upgrade. For me personally, that mental upgrade started with me journaling. It could be going for therapy. It could be listening to calming music. It could be venting to a tree or venting to a wall once in a while, or basically chatting with a friend about how you feel. That one mental upgrade is going to get you places, because suddenly the way you think becomes clearer. Once you start reflecting on everything you've been doing, you start to notice certain patterns, you notice certain triggers, and you start to notice things that need to change. So when you upgrade one mental thing, suddenly your life's gonna start looking clearer, cleaner, and better. Number 4, make one boundary with people. For me personally, because I'm a feminist, I will not tolerate anything at all to do with any anti-humanity work at all. I can talk about anything else, we can have fun about everything else, but the moment you start to downgrade a woman, the moment you start to do anything at all that disrespects a woman, you will have me walking out that door as quick as Barry Allen. Do you hear? It's not a negotiable thing. And I will tell you that you have stepped out of the zone of my boundaries, and I will not tolerate it. I will tell you very clearly that this is disrespecting me and my values, and because of that, I'm not going to stay here and act like we can maintain this relationship. If you're going to improve yourself, do it. But I'm not going to be the one staying there for you to keep disrespecting or anything my boundaries. My boundaries come first and foremost. And I'm not going to smile at you and act like I care. I will silence you and walk out the door. Plain and simple. Plain and simple. And you having one boundary with people where you get to do that is the best thing you could possibly do for yourself. Because when another person does not respect your boundaries and you continue to let them into your life, into your environment, you are doing yourself a disservice. You are allowing that person to trample over you, walk all over you, and to act like you don't deserve the most amount of respect. And I'm not here for that. And the last thing, one private goal you tell no one about. If it's workout in private, tell no one. If it's starting a business, start a business in private, tell no one. If it's writing a book, write it in private, tell no one. Just do what needs to be done, but tell no one. Tell nobody until it's done, until you've seen momentum, until you've seen improvement. Maybe then you can start sharing. But do whatever needs to be done, tell no one. Make sure you spit. Tell no one. I will tell you my goals, but then that'll be the whole point. But I'll tell you that I had specific goals that I set for myself and I've told nobody about, and I keep working on them. And until they're done, nobody's gonna know. Nobody has to know. Nobody has to find out. So yeah, make that your reality. Improve yourself in private, and then grow and show up in public when it's been done. When you've already defeated everything. Because the truth is, real growth is private. Real growth is quiet. The world sees the glow up, but it never actually likes seeing the preparation. If you want a different life, raise your standards in private so that you rise in public. And that literally is the end of the video. I will see you next week. Bye.